Captain Paul from TSP. We're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers before the end of January. And let's just get right into it. Andrew Tate is dropping some dimes here. Let him speak.
One second. Sorry. I understand the point you're all making, but let's understand something. To the sexual marketplace, females have always been, and still to a degree, are the gatekeepers. You can think about it in a very simplistic way. This is not the case, but let's simplify it for the sake of argument. Imagine men will run around and fuck anything, and women are the ones who say yes or no. You are the gatekeepers that have all the power.
I'm going to pause it right there because that 100% makes sense. Women do gatekeep the sexuality within these relationships. They pick and choose who they want to have sex with. There's a lot of things that Andrew Tate said in this podcast that I kind of thought were thought-provoking. But there's something else that he said that I really wanted to talk about.
So if you get Joe Schmo and he treats you like you're his queen and treats you perfect, good. If you get a fucking guy at the absolute upper echelons of value and you still aren't happy with what he's giving you, then leave. Women are the gatekeepers. You women actually have all of the power. This is what's beautiful about the whole thing. Yeah. Women are constantly complaining. You have all the power.
And right there, he hits the nail right on the head. They have all the power. It's all up to them. They're the ones that decide if you are a viable partner for them. And it's kind of interesting in a way because you see a lot of women complaining about being single, complaining about men. But honestly, when it comes to dating, it's a lot easier for women to get a partner than it is a man to. A man has to be the one to hunt, the man has to be the one to provide, and if a man is unable to do those things, women are going to look down on them and look at them as not a viable option to have a serious relationship with. That's just the way of life.
You know who threw away all the female power in the sexual marketplace? Promiscuous females. Because now you got chicks who will bang anybody without trying. So why should a dude get up and try?
No,
Do you have any idea how hard it is to actually be, let me make this clear.
Go on, sir.
Do you have any idea how hard it is to actually be, no bullshit, a man? And I say this and women go, oh yeah, dude, as soon as most women encounter any kind of problem, the first thing they do is turn to a man.
Where do I detect the lies? There is none there. Because when shit hits the fan, things get serious, women will usually turn to men to solve their problems. And that's not a bad thing, because women by nature aren't naturally confrontational. So they're going to be looking to their men to help them solve issues, if it's something of the verbal or physical variety, or even when it comes to problem solving, they're going to look to their partner, their man, to help guide them in that situation. It's just kind of basic biology. Women look to men to provide and to support them and to kind of problem solve very difficult situations. I think when it kind of comes down to it, what Tate is saying here is just the very basic human relationship between a man and a woman. And what I liked his add-on there is they don't understand how difficult it is to be a man. A lot of women think they do, but they truly don't, because when shit hits the fan, when things are going south, who has to solve all of these issues generally? The man. If there's a financial situation, it's usually the man. If it's a physical situation, it's always the man. And even outside of relationships, men are given far more grief and far more difficulty if they're not able to get their life together than a woman. Women are treated in a far more softer way than men. If you have a 40-year-old man who is living in his mother's basement, doesn't have his life together, people are going to have a very harsh opinion of that person. Whereas with a woman, they're going to be a little bit more forgiving. Men are supposed to have their shit figured out. Men are supposed to be the providers. We are not allowed to fail. We are not allowed to look weak. Because if you do, you will be looked down upon. Anyone that has gone through manhood understands that. And I feel like women take that for granted at times. There's one last thing I want to talk about in which he said. Let me roll the clip.
And you know what's beautiful about masculinity? A bunch of times a man will go up and he doesn't have a clue how to fix it himself. But he'll go, don't worry, baby, okay. And he'll stand up with no money and no clue. And he'll go out there and fucking try and find a way, because as a man, you need to be useful. It is so difficult to be a man. You have no idea the amount of pressure that we're under from society and from the women we even want to associate with. On a whole, it's difficult. So you have to keep all these things in mind. It's hard.
You know what the funny part is? That it's so true. Even if we don't know exactly what to do, if something is broken, we're going to at least give it a shot. I can't tell you how many times there's something that's like, oh, it's broken, can you fix it? And I'm just, yeah, sure, I can figure it out. Now, do I do a patchwork job? Is it always perfect? No, but I'm going to do what I can to problem solve. And I think it was a kind of a nice ending note there from Tate that, hey, men have a lot to offer. Men can give a lot in relationships. And I feel like the modern day woman, not all of them, but a lot of these new age feminists, do not realize how difficult it is to be a man and take it for granted and don't understand the value in which they bring into a relationship. If you hate men, just date women. And that's what it seems like some of these empowered feminists want to do. They don't even want to date men. They just want to hate on them. And if you truly hate men, well, just just go date a woman. They want a man that's sensitive. They want a man that is going to cry with you at the movies, but that's just not most guys. We bury our emotions and deal with it in therapy years later. So this was a kind of an interesting clip. There's actually more from this podcast I've been watching I'd like to talk about. And I definitely want to go about the clip in which Tate talks about promiscuous women and how they have ruined relationships in a lot of sense. Yeah, because I don't think it's wrong for a man to have a preference. If he wants to be with a woman that has slept with less people, that is his prerogative. But I hope you enjoyed this video. We are the kings of hot takes and cold truths here, and not really many hot takes here, more cold truths. We are trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. If you did enjoy this video, please make sure to subscribe. It would help us out immensely. I'm Captain Paul. See you in the next one.